This is Talking Hardcore, the podcast for people who love hardcore history.
You study history because it allows us to understand the present and prepare for the future.
I'm not trolling.
And I love it.
I'm just pointing out where they're wrong.
The Talking Hardcore podcast is presented by Ace Industrial Solutions. Are you in need of skilled trade professionals for your next project? Look no further. Specializing in commercial and industrial build-outs, floor coatings and coverings, high-speed concrete polish, floor cleaning, shot blasting, painting, energy efficiency, and pallet racking. With a proven track record of excellence, they have become the industry leader. To find out more, please check the link in the description.
Do you want the German accent or do you want the Russian accent?
I like your Russian accent, man.
You like the Russian accent, huh?
Okay,
I mean,
introduce us.
The Russians are actually the hero of this story.
There's kind of no hero.
It's a bad guy versus bad guy story. And
Yeah,
those
Dan
are
called
the
it and yelled it.
Those are the hardest to tell.
You have to understand this. This is not how this works.
Okay,
We are going to go with the German accent today.
This is pretty
because
good.
I'm going to be the evil.
all right, so if you're just tuning in, this is Talking Hardcore History Trivia Episode 2. It's going to pop up in your normal podcast feed, but it is part of our trivia series. The second one we've done. If you didn't catch the first one, we did Punic Nightmares, and Matt beat Scott.
Yep.
It started off as a little bit of an
one-sided
ass kicking,
victory.
and
Yeah.
then Scott came on strong at the end, but so did Matt. So it was a good game. Today we are doing
Ghost of the Ostfront.
Ghost of the Ostfront, parts
one
1 and 2. Ghost parts 3 and 4 will be the next one.
Okay. all
Okay,
right.
so I'm George.
I'm Scott.
Now do it with the German
Matt.
accent.
I'm Scott.
Okay, and then Matt, go ahead.
I'm Matt.
Okay. Matt Bella, author, frequent contributor to the podcast, runner of the Hardcore History Discord and the new Reddit that Matt started, and also helping me run the Talking Hardcore Book Club that's on the Discord channel. And just as a quick announcement, there's going to be an event we're hosting October 24th on Discord, live event that we will record and upload as part of the podcast. We are reading Tom Holland's, thank you. Tom Holland's Pax, which is about the golden age of the Roman Empire. Basically starts off with at the end of Augustus and runs through the end of Rome, I think. I haven't finished it yet, but halfway through. It is an awesome book, and Tom Holland is a great narrator.
Yeah.
He's got that British accent. He's funny. It's like
He's
listening to the rest is
careful.
history.
He's measured. He's passionate. Yeah, some nonfiction authors shouldn't
Right.
be reading their own books, but he's a wonderful
Okay.
storyteller.
Absolutely.
Kind of like Dan Carlin. Real
Yeah.
good storyteller.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is it kind of was like listening to a little bit more of a polished hardcore history episode with a British
Straight
guy.
up.
Because there's less of the off the cuff that you get with Dan. When you listen to hardcore history, you know some of it is this just popped into his head right there. Whereas here he's reading the book, but otherwise it has a very similar feel. I like
Right on.
it. All right, but again, Talking Hardcore History Trivia Episode 2 right now, starting now. Ghost of the Ostfront. Scoring, how it works. We are playing 10 questions. There's a tiebreaker if you guys tie. You write down your answers. Once I say reveal your answers, you show the answers. You get a point if you get it right. You get no points if you get it wrong, unless you make me laugh. And then maybe I'll give you a partial point. There is no problems with spelling. I don't care if you spell things correctly as long as you're close enough that I know what the hell you're saying. Okay? You guys ready?
Salute,
Yep.
Waffa.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
So here we go. First question. Finish the following sentence. 1 death is a tragedy. 1 million are a blank. And who said it? Thought I would start you guys off with a little bit of an easier question this time.
It's a good one, though.
I mean, it's a great line.
Yeah, it is.
Great line. I mean, you got to be an asshole to say it, but it's a great line.
I mean, that's the might of governance, my friend. When you make the big decisions, you know.
Yeah.
Unless you're an anarcho-communist.
Yeah.
Nobody makes decisions.
Yep.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, show your answer. You don't get it too close to camera because that can make the camera come out of focus. So Scott, just say it.
Statistic and Stalin.
Yep, and Matt got it correct too. Again, I knew you would both get that right. But I thought I'd throw you a bone early.
Thank you.
All right, so the scores are 1-1.
I sure do like bones, Cotton.
Awesome. The question 2. The precursor to the KGB went by what 4-letter abbreviation? Again, the precursor to the KGB went by what 4-letter abbreviation?
I like
Now,
the
guys,
sounds.
If I don't remember to read it twice, please remind me, because for people playing at home, it will probably be a lot easier if I say it twice.
Cool,
So
you're
the
right.
precursor to the KGB went by what 4-letter abbreviation?
I know what it is now, but it's not this one. It's something like this, though.
4 letters. At least have 4 letters, or you're not going to have it right.
Now it's the FSB, but that's not the answer he's looking for.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, that's
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you done, Scott?
Yeah, I guess so. Wait, I think I might have mixed a letter up, but all
Okay.
right.
Go ahead and tell
What?
your.
If you write a letter backwards, that's kind of like Cyrillic. So, is there points for that?
No. Again, spelling doesn't matter. If it's the right letter, I don't care if it's frontward or backwards. All right, Matt, what do you got? What's your answer?
NKVD.
That's correct.
Oh, yep, that's way.
Scott, show your answer so everybody can see that you got it wrong.
It is RVUB. I got that completely wrong.
RVUB. What did you suppose that stood for, Scott?
I don't know.
Some Russian bullshit.
I don't know what NKVD stands for either. So
No, Nikolai Victor or Konstantinov Victor Drago.
NKVB. Yeah, I forgot.
All right, now we have our first ever multiple choice trivia question in this podcast. Okay, are you guys paying attention?
Yeah, it's going to be off by like 2 seconds.
Here is our first multiple choice question. The Germans launched Operation Barbarossa against the Russians on which day? A. June 22nd, 1941. B. December 7th, 1941. C. August 20th, 1941. And D. June 12th, 1941. I'm going to read that again.
Oh, yeah.
The Germans launched Operation Barbarossa against the Russians on which day? A. June 22nd, 1941. B. December 7th, 1941. C. August 20th, 1941. And D. June 12th, 1941. Operation Barbarossa was the surprise attack on the Russians by the Germans when they had a treaty. Okay, just say A, B, C, or D, Scott.
Oh, okay. So
A was June 22nd, 1941. B was December 7th, 1941. C was August 20th, 1941. And D was June 12th, 1940.
Oh. No. That's never mind. Hold on.
Think about campaigning season.
Yep, no.
Okay, so Matt, what's your answer? A. And Scott had A. That is correct.
Hey, I know that we like to do a little bit of like additional trivia.
Yep,
with these
hit it.
Okay, so I'm fascinated. I'm obsessed with like the war in the East during the Second World War, right?
Because it's fascinating.
This is why Ghost of the Ostfront is my favorite series of hardcore history.
Right.
So I was looking on YouTube for all these things, and I found this Russian guy who posted a collection of clips from movies, Russian-made movies about that war. And I'm really more into like Russian-made films. There's this great film series called Liberation that deals with like the end all the way up to storming the Reichstag.
Wow.
Or the Reich Chancellery in Berlin. Yeah, it's fast. Everybody check out the 5-film series Liberation. It's amazing. So
throw a link in the Discord channel to that if you could, Matt.
I will, man. Yeah, absolutely. So,
the Talking Hardcore chat in the Discord channel.
Right on. So
maybe we should make a trivia page in there.
That'd be cool. So I was thinking of this today. So as far as the actual invasion, Dan talks a lot about the sneak attack, right? Like they were just like, because at that point the Germans and Russians were allies and they were working together. Treaty. there was soldier on soldier contact between these people, and they're like there was relationships, and they took advantage of these relationships. So I was on YouTube looking for movies and stuff about this, and I found this Russian dude who had posted a compilation of clips from movies about the invasion of Russia by the Nazis, and
Right.
one of them was from this movie called the Dnieper Line. And the Dnieper is a river in Russia, and I think this clip is from that movie. So it
Cool.
showed the initial moments of the surprise attack and how it happened, right? In a way, in all
So
these different ways.
Was like a docudrama or something?
No, it was a real movie that they made.
Okay,
about it.
okay.
Yeah. So it showed this German soldier dressed in a Russian officer's uniform, walking up to a Russian machine gun nest, giving them orders in Russian, saying, "Hey, attack there." And when they turn their guns, he just shoots them in the back, and the men move in.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Stuff like that was happening.
Could you even imagine? Like, just imagine you're on one line. Your German counterparts are like 1,000 yards away or 100 yards away, and all of a sudden you just start seeing tanks roll across.
Not just
And people
first
are just
you're
getting
getting shelled.
annihilated. Yeah. Well, yeah. First.
All of a sudden you get shelled, and they're like, "Wait a minute, who's attacking?" Or airplanes are bombing, and you're like, "Whose planes are those?" They don't even know because, well, it can't be our allies. They'd be like, not quite this bad, but like imagine all of a sudden the Mexicans are flying a bunch of planes at us.
Yeah.
Like it would be shocking.
I don't think they'd get too far over the border with aircraft.
I know. That's why it's not a great analogy, but just imagine if you had a border that long.
Like the Canadian border?
But this is even longer than...
Yeah. No. The Canadian border is longer than the Russian front between the Germans.
No, because remember, Germany had all those other countries.
Yeah, but
so that it was like literally like the whole front of Russia.
Yeah, but the Canadian border's longer than that.
I don't think it is. If you remember in the podcast, Dan was talking about how long it was.
Yeah,
and it was because they had Finland was a German ally,
yeah,
and all the way down, it was like literally
it's like
all of Russia
miles or something. But the width of the United States is like 2,000 miles, more than 2,000 miles.
And he's like, imagine if an invasion happened in America from San Diego all the way up to the Canadian border, or from Tallahassee,
so I guess it is,
or from Florida to Boston, like that much of a front.
That's crazy.
That's the
okay,
width,
but let's get back to it. This is great side bit, Matt. Thank you. Throw a link in the Discord to those movies because live doing it. That's how good he is at trivia. He can kick Scott's ass and upload links.
Well, there's
also good.
That's shit talking right there.
There's also a movie about God, I think it's named after the Russian tank.
T-30. Oh, I don't want to say it.
That's okay. That's not one.
Oh, T-34.
Okay.
That movie.
I'll allow it. There's no question with that, so you're okay.
Did you watch that movie?
No, that's on my list though. I like the one they made about the biopic of the guy who invented the Kalashnikov. So.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Oh, yeah, Anton.
Anton Kalashnikov, right? All right. Question 4. Leader of the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin. I hope you guys know that. But if you didn't know that one, we're in the wrong trivia.
We're in the wrong group.
He was a native of what country? Leader of the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin, was a native of what country? And I'll do this.
No, you can't do that. Copyright infringement.
If I'm doing it, if I'm making it, it's at work, and I can do it.
I'm good.
I'm good. Georgia.
Yep.
Check for both of you again. I should have made these harder, but it was hard to make hard ones.
No.
Yeah.
But they're getting harder now.
We'll see.
We started easier. I think we're getting to the harder questions.
Okay.
Question 5. Directive number 44 shifted the focus of the Nazi attack away from which city? Directive number 44 switched the focus of the Nazi attack away from which city? Just wait, Scott. We got to give the people at home time to play. Now, at home, if these two know and you're still thinking, hit pause. Give it a little thought, and then on pause. You ready, Scott?
I'm ready.
You ready, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. Moscow. I can't read it, Matt. Moscow. Okay.
Moscow.
Check. Okay. Now, here's our time for our scoring update. Right now, it is Matt in the lead with a perfect game, 5, and Scott's only missed one question, number 4. Or
great.
she missed question number 2. He's got 4.
NKVD. Damn it.
NKVD.
Never forget that one now.
You better not.
Can we take another quick pause just to
Please.
talk about that?
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
You want to talk about how you're
Hitler's...
beating Scott's ass?
No, he's great. He's doing great. What do you think about Hitler's decision to shift the focus away from Moscow? Do you think he was afraid of repeating what Napoleon did, or because Moscow was actually more of a center of communications and stuff at that time during the Second World War? Or do you think that he was? Do you think it was like, okay, the Soviets know we're coming for Moscow, it's going to shift, and the huge logistics problems that caused? Like, what do you think of it?
I think it was a terrible idea, and I think maybe it cost them the war. I think maybe it cost them the war.
Well, I remember reading this a while ago. So what had happened?
Scott can read. I told you, man.
What had happened was is it was a Trident attack. I think it was. I forgot the northern city. Was that
Moscow?
No. The northern city wasn't Moscow. It was something else. So anyway, Leningrad. Yep. So they had a Trident attack, right?
Ooh, look at him.
He can draw a trident.
What had happened?
It's a fork.
So the north and central attacks did fantastic. The problem was Kiev.
Yes.
Yes. Hitler didn't want to leave his back exposed because he wanted to.
I thought he liked it exposed back.
Oh.
This is what I read. So he didn't want to leave his flank exposed. So what he did was he turned around Army Group Center to take Kiev, basically a pincer movement, so he didn't leave his rear exposed or his flank exposed.
But how far is Moscow from Kiev? It's very far.
It is. So he turned
really far.
So everything in Russia is very far from each other.
So he turned around the central attack to take Kiev because he didn't want to leave any flanks exposed. Well, his largest plan, this was actually...
Okay, we can't get this far into the weeds.
This is the other thing they wanted to do. They wanted to take Russia and then circle back into Africa.
Show the camera.
Yeah, they wanted to do crazy stuff, yeah. I think,
so they wanted a giant pincer move.
Yeah, that's something I actually picked up on from listening to the first 2 parts of the series for this episode today, that he wanted to free up the troops from Moscow to help encircle Kiev and stuff like that. Right. So,
but it was a
huge
dumb
strategic decision, yeah. So here's something I have just to say about that. So Lex Friedman, the podcaster Lex Friedman,
I like Lex.
He was born in Russia. His grandfather was a freaking heavy machine gunner in the Second World War, and his job, Lex talks about this, and you get tears in your eyes because his passion and his love and his appreciation.
Well, maybe you do, but my eyes don't tear up.
For the sacrifice and the honor and the courage that his grandfather had in fighting the Nazis, said his job was to repel the Nazis from Moscow until winter came. That's all you had to do. And then when General Winter came in, we would have our natural ally. And by mixing it all up like that, Dan even talks about this, they brought in people on skis. And they were just, winter clothing. And it was over at that point.
Out of a James Bond movie.
Straight up.
Right. But what the problem was is that month delay allowed the General Winter to have its effect. Well, but let's get to the next question.
Or do you leave it, or do you leave vast amounts of soldiers to come attack you in the rear while you're trying to take...
They were doing that anyway.
I'm just telling you what...
You take the command center and you cut the head off. If you get Stalin, what happens to Russia? He didn't flee Moscow. If you get Stalin, what happens to Russia?
That's...
The Soviet Union, without Stalin, probably caves. He was the only one brutal enough to get them to keep going. I mean, they might have just caved.
Destroy that command structure, and who knows, a lot of things could have happened.
But that was 1940. That was 1941. Yeah. That was the start of modern militaries, where you had amazing radio communications, and you could really run a battle. I mean, World War I, yes, but World War II even more. He might not have anticipated that as much as what you would now. Now, if you can disrupt the communications from the command, you do it.
Yeah.
You do it.
And you invariably win. I mean, other than your small pockets.
Question 6. Again, the scores are Matt 5, Scott 4. An ass kicking.
Yeah, that's a complete
ass kicking.
Yeah.
It's a mild disagreement.
I'm going to
It is
say
both.
ass-kicking because Matt hasn't got one wrong. He's pitching a perfect game.
Well, let's see.
All right, another multiple choice question here, people. This famous order commanded Russian troops to never surrender, going so far as to deprive the family members of troops that surrendered of any state welfare. Now remember, in the Russian system, all your stuff came as state welfare. So if you were deprived of state welfare, you were deprived of food.
Yeah.
And when
You're di-
Stalin's own son got captured,
No. I get it.
Oh, sorry.
But let's finish this. No tidbits
Alright,
till
so-
after I read the multiple choice. Again, this famous order commanded Russian troops to never surrender. Commanded Russian troops. Order number 11. Order number 99. I'm sorry, that A was order number 11. B, order number 99. C, order number 270. D, order number 301. The famous order to never surrender, even punishing the family members of the troops that surrendered, is A, order number 11. B, order number 99. C, order number 270. And D, order number 301.
Always with these damn specifics.
It's really hard not to on this one. Like there's so much
Yeah.
detail in these podcasts
Yeah.
because it's only 80 years ago.
Yeah.
When you're doing, Punic Nightmares, there's way less detail.
All right, you ready, Matt?
Yep.
Okay, what's your answer, Matt?
Damn.
Matt got it right. C.
Now, if that was order 270, imagine what orders 1 through 269
269
were.
The famous not one step back rule is the other way it was known, right? Not one step back.
Yeah.
And may have saved the world.
It's absolutely correct.
May have saved the world.
Russian soldiers were surrendering in the hundreds
Some of them
thousands.
Yeah. Some of them were, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then even if they were released later, they went straight to the gulag when they
Awful.
Yeah.
Because after the war, seems like you could have been like, all right, I get it. You surrendered.
Nope, you're true.
We're going to let you off. But it sounds like, oh, fuck no.
Sorry.
I did order number 270. Everybody, you're gone. Gulag.
It's
all
what
right.
it took.
Yeah, but you could have penned them in a little nicer afterwards. That's all I'm suggesting.
No, not that guy.
Number 7. Question 7. The siege of this city started on August 20th, 1941. The siege of this city started August 20th, 1941. Again, one more time. The siege of this city started August 20th, 1941. Guys, if you're listening to this, check out last week's podcast, which we also recorded like an hour ago. And we interviewed Wilford Riley. I thought he said Riley.
Will Riley.
God, I am terrible at names.
He's gonna
Will Riley. He is a political scientist. He's a lawyer, a PhD
in political science,
and he works at the University of Kentucky State University. He's written several best-selling books. I don't know if best-selling. I think they sell great, so I'm going to say best-selling. And he's got a new book coming out, and we interviewed him earlier today, and that's coming out tomorrow. If you're listening to this when this comes out, it came out a week ago.
Sounds cool.
All right. Scott, throw up your answer.
Stalingrad.
Matt, Leningrad. Matt wins that one too.
Oh,
it is Leningrad. Okay, so let's
go
ahead,
know
Matt.
that, Scott, we know that from a previous question, the invasion of the Soviet Union happened on June 2nd, or 22nd, 1941.
Yep.
Leningrad is in the north, much closer to Poland, the invasion point in the western borders of the Soviet Union, than Stalingrad, which is way to the east and took them much longer to get to. So I'm sorry, that's just a logical thing right there that I had to point out.
That's all right. That's okay.
Yep. Matt just mic dropped Scott as a dumbass.
Yep. Thanks,
No!
Matt. Love you, buddy.
I
Question 8. No, Matt, that was appropriate. He should have known that one.
I should have.
But you should have seen. I saw his board. The first thing he wrote down was Kiev. So at least he fixed that. That would have been way worse.
And the word siege, because there was a siege of Kiev for a brief little while. In fact, very, very, very quickly, there's a great podcast called New Books in Military History. They are very prolific. They have put out episodes all the time. And a while back, they wrote, they interviewed the author of a guy who wrote a book just about the Battle of Kiev. Because there's so much, like, that's a huge battle, and, like, it's almost not even talked about. So
Matt will also throw a link of that into the hardcore hit. Wait. We're going to make a Discord channel in the a chat in the hardcore history channel that is talking hardcore history trivia, and Matt will throw the link in there for us.
Cool.
So if you're listening to this, you can find the link to that podcast there and check that out, which I will definitely do because that sounds freaking fascinating. The Battle of Kiev. I always said Kiev.
There was when we interview Sasha and her mom.
Yeah, I can't wait to do that.
There's I don't remember what it was, like a castle, okay? But they all held out to like the last person. Like they were eating each other.
Yeah.
So now since they had it, they lasted to the last person. They actually wrote on the wall, like, we are the last people, blah, blah, blah. We ate each other, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Crazy.
And then now, according to, like, that whole town or whoever the hell survived, they pretty much don't have to work. Like, they are just taken care of.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Question 8. In this dark-ass episode of People Eating People, what day did Germany declare war on the United States of America? What day did Germany declare war on the United States of America? Now, I am going to give you guys a little tips while you're thinking about this. Now, Matt, you're sitting in front of your computer. No Googling here.
No.
No Googling. All right. Now, you want to think about this and use all your knowledge of history to come up with this exact date. So when did Germany declare war on the United States of America? That's one thing to think about, right? What event had happened?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. You can say it. Go ahead and talk it through.
Pearl Harbor.
Right. And so you know what day Pearl Harbor was?
December 7th. 19...
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. So if they declared war on December 7th, Japan, maybe not. You want to think about this. He said it in the podcast too. So it was, I can tell you at least now that it was after December 7th.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, you're pitching a perfect game. No pressure. Don't F this up. Don't F it up. Nobody's ever got a perfect game in the long storied history of talking hardcore history trivia. No perfect games.
All two.
Hey, this is the second episode.
All two.
No perfect games. Again, I'm going to read the question one more time.
No. Wait.
What day did Germany declare war on the United States of America? So, in 1941, December 7th, as Matt said, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
I think. All right, Matt, I'm going to show mine. I think this is wrong.
It's getting weird. Scott's whipping it out.
Yeah, I might. I think this is wrong.
It is wrong.
But I'm pretty sure it's the 10th.
No, but you put December 8th, 1941. Scott, Matt, what do you have?
I put the 8th too.
Wrong.
Isn't the 10th or the 9th?
It is the 11th.
Oh.
And Dan says it in the episode. That's the only reason I know that.
That's the
only reason I have a clue.
That's a
Thanks.
really
I'm
good.
pretty proud of that one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of that one. Because I was like, they won't pay attention to this because this one is all about Russia versus Germany.
Yeah, but
so this one about America is going to sneak past you guys.
Very important day, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because if Germany wasn't dumb enough to do that, who knows what would have happened?
And the way I perceive it is that Hitler was looking for solidarity with the Japanese against the Americans.
And that was dumb.
It was dumb.
Hindsight-wise, stupid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because the Japanese didn't trust the communists at all.
Well, why would they?
They didn't like that. Well, their largest force by far was stationed just outside of Russia.
Right. Okay, so we're going to go a scoring update. We're now through 8 questions.
It doesn't matter.
It is on.
It's over.
Scott can't catch them.
It's over.
Yeah, it is actually over, but we're going to keep going because I wrote all these questions, so we're not going to stop now. Matt has won. Matt, you can put your arm up, raise your arm to the champ.
7.
7 out of 8 questions right so far. Scott has 4. There are 2 questions remaining.
Damn.
So Scott cannot catch Matt. It is unattainable.
Depends.
It depends on if I can't add.
Wait a minute. If Matt gets the next 2 wrong, and I get the next 2 right, then we're going to go to the tiebreaker.
I'm going to do the tiebreaker anyway because I wrote it. And so saving the tiebreaker does no good because we're not doing another Ghost of the Ostfront trivia, the first 2 episodes, another episode. So I might as well do the tiebreaker.
I'm waiting for the question I know.
Question 9. Okay, again, Matt has locked this up. He is now 2-time defending champion of Talking Hardcore History Trivia. Ghost of the Ostfront episode. Matt, this was in his wheelhouse. This is a favorite hardcore history episode. So he knew he was going to trample Scott. He has a tattoo of Scott's face with a big circle and an X.
No. Yeah.
On his pec.
No,
he showed me a picture. Did I tell you about it? I forgot to tell you about that? He's got it right on his chest.
Matt has
your
like
face.
Matt has like the kill sign that they put on like the jets for how many fighter pilots.
Oh, he's just like cross 1. 2.
Yep.
You gotta guess when he beats you in 5 trivia, he's gonna put a cross.
Yeah, he's got to go update.
Right on his.
Got to go update it.
Yeah. Matt, that is badass. I didn't know you were that tough. In September 1939, World War II in Europe began when Germany invaded this country.
Come on,
Question
Scott,
9. Question 9. In September 1939, World War II officially began in Europe when Germany invaded this country. Now, I put it like this because some people argued that World War II really started when the Japanese invaded China.
Invaded mainland Asia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at it in the broader scope, yeah, there's. I know what you mean.
Well, it's not. Wait a minute.
After this invasion,
hold on.
The Germans.
Hold on.
After this invasion, British declared war on Germany and other countries. Just as a tip, because I'm throwing Scott a bone because he already.
Well, wait a minute.
Needed a little help.
Wait a minute, because the first country they invaded.
No, but that's not it. This is what most people consider the start of World War II.
Who's most people?
Historians.
Well,
Dan says it in the effing episode, and we went to Dan Carlin University. Okay, so Matt, what's your guess? What's your answer? Scott showed his. He put Poland, and Matt's Googling it.
Poland,
because he obviously didn't know. He obviously didn't know that the Germans invaded Poland.
I'm making the hardcore history trivia channel.
I know you knew that answer.
Because I have to get up at 4 a.m. and go to work, so I'm trying to do this all at once. So
that's
I can just
fair.
cook
I
dinner.
appreciate you multitasking. All right, I do appreciate the multitasking.
Right on, man.
Question 10. The Germans used this term to justify the brutal treatment of the Slavic peoples in Russia. This is a tricky one, right?
Nope, it's not.
The Germans used this term to justify the brutal treatment of the Slavic people in Russia.
That's bullshit.
I mean, I think I know what you're talking about.
This is a tricky one because I struggle with how to word this question, right? I really struggled with this. But Dan talked about it at length in the episode.
Yeah.
This is how Hitler could tell his generals, because of this, we cannot act like this is in Europe. We cannot treat these people like they're French.
Oh, God.
I'm going to read it one more time. The Germans used this term to justify the brutal treatment of the Slavic peoples in Russia.
Oh, I don't remember the specific word.
It's not one word. It's a term.
Yeah, I don't remember the term. Like they're.
Matt, you look like you're thinking hard. Hardcore.
Like I can tell you. Yeah, I'm just going to say it.
No, don't say it yet. Wait to bring that up for the tidbit. Have a drink. Matt, you back on the box wine?
I'm always on. I never left it.
Nice.
I'm still on the rum.
Yeah.
Say it with an accent, a pirate accent.
Arr, I'm still on me rum.
That's pretty good pirate. What the fuck? How many accents do you know?
As many as you got, I guess.
I'm just gonna go with what my first instinct.
Okay, so we're ready. Scott, write an answer down. You got 5 seconds.
You know what?
Write an answer down.
I'm going to verbalize it instead.
Okay. All right, Scott, what is your answer?
Well,
If you make me laugh, you get points.
I was going to say primitive, but Untermenschen is one thing that he says the Untermenschen, and the Slavs were slaves. This is how this was.
Okay, Matt, what's your answer?
Untermensch.
All right, so what he said is the special nature of the enemy. And I can see why that's confusing, so I'm going to give you guys both a point.
Dude,
I'll give you the point. I'll give you the point.
Very
He said it because he said he argued.
Okay.
I know. I told you this question was going to be tricky,
Yeah.
and I like Untermenschen, so I'm going to give you both the point because he
Special
talked
nature of
about
the
that
enemy.
though. Because of the special nature of the enemy,
Sure.
they
He was
could
talking-
not
he was
treat
talking-
them. Yep.
Yeah, he was
Go
talking
ahead.
to his generals who fought in the First World War, who were very honorable, and he was trying to convince them to go against their own morality.
Like, hey, we're going
Say
to
what?
violate the Geneva Convention. We're gonna
Well,
slaughter
we never
women and children.
We never participated in the Hague Convention.
Russia didn't. German did,
yeah,
but
right,
Russia
okay, I'm
didn't.
sorry,
So we don't have to follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
and-
we now know scoring update. Matt won. Matt got 9 out of 10 right. Scott got 6 out of 10 right.
That's not bad. I'll take
That's a
better.
2-point improvement.
I'll take better
Hey,
than
I'm
average.
proud of you, big guy. 2-point improvement from Scott. Matt, nice job. 9 out of 10. I'm going to come back with some harder questions.
No.
Actually, next time is Ghost of the Ostfronts. Well, maybe we should skip and save 3 and
Wait.
4 for another episode.
I want to hear. I have a question of my own.
Well, I got to do the tiebreaker first.
I want to hear the tiebreaker, but I have a question of my own, Matt. I want to see if you can get it with me.
Okay, but let's do the
All right,
tiebreaker first.
Okay.
All right. So, the tiebreaker question is always going to be some kind of numerical question, so that way you
I
guys
did
are
not
very
know that shit.
unlikely
I'm
to
done.
tie.
Why
But listen, it's this Price is Right rules.
Oh,
You go over, it doesn't matter if you're over by 1, you're out. All right? And we're going to make Matt say his answer first.
Oh.
Okay? So that way Scott has a chance because he's been getting his ass kicked. All right. So the Price is Right rule. Matt, you understand what Price is Right rules applies means? Okay, so if it's saying Price is Right, right? If the answer is $1 and you bid $1
gotcha.
one, you go over, you
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah.
Okay?
I bet $101.01.
Right. So you could say a ridiculous number here, and Scott could say 1 and win.
Okay.
All right. How many German divisions were on the Russian border on the day that Operation Barbarossa was launched? How many German divisions were on the Russian border on the day that Operation Barbarossa was launched?
No.
This is a tricky one because the answer is way more than you think.
You know what? Think about this too. Okay.
I love it.
I'm
I love it because Matt got 9 right, and yet he's going to walk away from this episode humbled. Humbled by this. Wait a minute. Yeah, so you go first. You go first, and then Scott gets to come up with his answer based on that because he might go with 1. All right, Matt, what's your answer?
200.
200. Scott? Now, remember, Price is Right rules apply. If you think he's over, your smart best is to say 1.
No, wait a minute. I know what he invaded Russia with. The division is
Don't get cocky.
201.
You dumbass.
What, was 126?
No. The answer is 152.
So I should have said
All right,
126.
You should have said 1.
No, I didn't want to say 1. All right,
1 was the right answer. You would have won.
All right, Matt.
Price is Right rules.
Here's the best one. Ready?
Yeah, go for
Wait
it.
a minute. Let's pause. Let me just recap that. The Germans surprise attacked Russia with 152 divisions. Matt, how many people were in a division?
There was 3 million men altogether.
Holy shit, what a surprise attack that is. You'll never
So-
see that again. You'll never
so
see that
let's-
again.
Let's talk about this very quickly. So Soviet Union at that time had expanded into Poland, and Germany and Russia had annexed Poland, so they had troops there. Germany
Right.
had been training in the Soviet Union in exchange for mineral goods and information training grounds, ostensibly against the British, although they were using that training to attack the Russians. And so their troops were mixed. And then they were like doing maneuvers, and Stalin was playing it off, and Hitler was like, "We are training to protect Britain." So their
Protect
troops were
against
amassing, but at the same time, Dan does talk about how do you not know this is coming? Like, this is on your border, and yeah, it was just. And so there's another perspective of it that Stalin knew this was coming. I mean, Hitler wrote about it in Mein Kampf. He's like, I want to take the East, And so Stalin was just playing them off with these trade deals until he could build up his industry to the point where he could fight the Nazis. And then Hitler just jumped right in.
Hey, thanks for watching Talking Hardcore History Trivia Episode 2, Ghosts of the Ostfront, Parts 1 and 2. The next episode of Talking Hardcore History Trivia will be Ghosts of the Ostfront, Part 3 and 4.
And it'll be George versus
Apparently,
Matt.
Scott thinks he's going to be able to write the questions.
Oh, no, I 100%.
Scott thinks he can just do my job.
Yep.
I'm pretty much useless.
So
He can just
easily.
what I do is easy.
Yep.
What I do is easy.
I'm pretty sure I could find 10 questions in 3 hours of content.
Listen to it and see. It's harder than you think.
Yeah, okay.
But we're going to find out if Scott can step up.
Oh, wait a minute.
Tune in next time, because Scott's going to stump me and Matt's going to kick my ass. It's going to happen, and I'm okay with that because I'm not a sore loser. All right. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for joining us. Again, check out Matt's, at the link in the description, you can check out Matt's work, and you can check out his books, and look at the Hardcore History Discord. And again, October 24th, we are doing a live Hardcore History, Talking Hardcore History book club event for Tom Holland's
PAX.
PAX.
It'd be great.